Imagine staring at a check for $10 billion. That is a 1, followed by 10 zeros. Most people would take the money and run. They would buy islands, yachts, sports teams. But in 2021, when Microsoft put that offer on the table to buy his company, Jason Citron did something unthinkable. He said no. He ripped up the winning lottery ticket. Why? Because for Jason, it was never about the money. He had already been rich, and he hated it. This isn't just a story about a chat app. This is the story of a guy who failed his way to the top, built a gaming empire by accident, and defeated giants like Skype and TeamSpeak without spending a single dollar on marketing. This is the untold story of Discord. To understand the madness of rejecting $10 billion, we have to go back. Jason wasn't a suit-wearing businessman. He was a gamer, a hardcore gamer. As a kid, he didn't care about school. He cared about code and World of Warcraft. In 2009, just as the iPhone was taking over the world, Jason launched his first company. It was called OpenFaint. You probably don't remember it, but back then, it was huge. It was the glue holding mobile games together. The company grew fast, too fast. In just 2 years, a Japanese giant called Jiri knocked on his door. They offered him $104 million. Jason was only 26 years old. He took the deal. He was young. He was rich. He was successful. But he was also miserable. See, the corporate world wasn't for him. He watched his creation turn into something he hated. He felt trapped in board meetings and spreadsheets. So, he did what any obsessed gamer would do. He quit. He walked away with his millions, looking for the next challenge. He didn't want to build a tool anymore. He wanted to build a game. Jason started a new studio called Hammer and Chisel. Cool name. Big ambition. His idea was revolutionary. He wanted to make a serious, competitive game for iPads. It was called Fates Forever. Think of League of Legends, but on a tablet. He poured everything into it. His own money, investor money, years of development. The graphics were beautiful. The gameplay was smooth. And when they finally launched it in 2014, silence. Nobody cared. Hardcore gamers didn't want to play on touchscreens. They wanted keyboards and mice. The game was a disaster. The studio was burning cash. The dream was dying. Jason looked at his team. They were tired, defeated. They were about to shut everything down. But there was one small detail. One tiny feature inside the game that the developers were using to talk to each other. The game was terrible, but the chat feature was actually incredible. Back in 2015, if you were a gamer, communication was a nightmare. You had Skype, which used all your computer's memory and crashed your game. You had TeamSpeak, which looked like it was built in 1995. You had to rent servers. It was complicated. It was ugly. Jason realized something. His failed game had a hidden gem. The voice chat technology they built was crystal clear. It was lightweight. It was modern. He made a radical decision. He told his team, "Kill the game. We are pivoting." They thought he was crazy. "Jason," they said, "we are a game studio, not a chat app company. Nobody can beat Skype." Microsoft owned Skype, but Jason didn't care. He fired the game designers. He kept the engineers, and they went all in on a project called Discord. The launch wasn't a fairy tale. At first, nobody joined. Just a few friends. Maybe a few World of Warcraft guilds. But Jason knew the pain of gamers. He knew they hated Skype, so he went where they lived. Reddit. They started posting in subreddits. "Hey, tired of Skype crashing? Try this." And then it happened. A spark. One gamer told another. A guild leader told his members, "Dude, you have to try this. It just works." It spread like wildfire. No ads. No billboards. Just pure, word-of-mouth obsession. Within a year, millions were on the platform. It wasn't just for gaming anymore. Crypto communities, study groups, art clubs, even friends just hanging out. Discord became the digital living room of the internet. The failed game developer had accidentally built the future of social media. Which brings us back to the check. The $10 billion. Why did he say no? Because Jason Citron remembered OpenFaint. He remembered what it felt like to sell out. He remembered the regret. He knew that if Microsoft bought Discord, they would change it. They would make it corporate. They would ruin the soul of the place he built. So he chose freedom over fortune. Today, Discord is worth over $15 billion. But more importantly, it belongs to the gamers. Jason proved that sometimes Your biggest failure is just a disguise for your greatest success. You just have to be willing to kill your darlings and listen to the whisper of opportunity. The blueprint for success. Lessons from the Discord story. But the story of Jason Citron in Discord isn't just a tech success story. It is a blueprint, a masterclass in how the world actually works for those who want to build something legendary. So, what can we take away from the man who walked away from $10 billion? The first lesson, the power of the pivot. Most people see failure as a wall. They hit it, and they stop. When Jason's multi-million-dollar game, Fates Forever, failed to attract players, he didn't double down on a bad idea. He didn't let his ego get in the way. Instead, he looked at the ruins of his project and asked, what part of this actually works? Greatness often hides in the shadows of your failures. You might be working on the wrong project right now, but inside that project is a skill, a tool, or a connection that could change your life. Don't be afraid to kill your original dream, to make room for the one that actually works. The second lesson, know your worth beyond the price tag. We live in a world that worships the exit. We are told that the goal of every business is to sell it to a bigger giant. But Jason Citron understood that money is only valuable if it buys you the freedom to do what you love. By rejecting Microsoft, he chose his vision over a paycheck. He knew that once you sell your soul, you can never buy it back. If you want to build an empire, you have to care about the mission more than the money. Ironically, that is exactly how you end up making even more money in the long run. The third lesson, solve your own pain. Discord didn't start in a marketing meeting. It started because gamers were frustrated. They were tired of tools that didn't work. When you solve a problem that you personally feel every single day, you don't need a marketing budget. You have empathy. You have insight. You are building for yourself. And as it turns out, there are millions of people just like you waiting for a solution. And finally, the courage to start over. Jason was already a millionaire after his first company. He could have retired at 26. He could have spent his life on a beach. But he chose the stress of a new startup. He chose the risk of failing publicly. Success is not a destination. It is a mindset. It is the willingness to be a beginner again. To be the guy in the garage who everyone thinks is crazy. So, as you close this video, ask yourself, what am I building? Am I following the money? Or am I following the problem? Because as Jason Citron proved, sometimes the biggest failure of your life is actually the foundation for a $15 billion empire. You just have to be brave enough to keep the conversation going. Listen closely. Most of us are waiting for a permission slip that will never come. We wait for the perfect moment, the perfect idea, or the perfect amount of money. But look at Jason. He didn't have a map. He had a wreck. He didn't have a plan. He had a failure that he refused to let go of. Success isn't about the check you cash at the end. It's about the person you become when you have the courage to say no to $1 billion, just to stay true to your soul. The world is full of people who sold out. Be the person who stayed in a world obsessed with the price of everything. Never forget the value of what cannot be bought. Most people chase the paycheck. The legends chase the vision. The only question left is, which one are you?